Have you ever had severe social anxiety that came from not being able to speak or socialize properly when in a depressed state? When bipolar people come down from mania or hypomania, their brain reaches a state of impairment. If you were once able to express yourself well in front of family and friends, it becomes comparably more difficult once you become depressed. Once this happens, being in a social setting can become a dread, and you can start isolating yourself from people altogether. My social anxiety was so bad to the point I would tremble at the sight of people I was not familiar with. That awkward feeling I would get from social interactions would make me feel like I'd rather be dead. It became part of the reason why I wanted to end my life. At the time, I felt I was no use to society because I couldn't interact with people properly. Each encounter made me want to hide, lose confidence, and feel miserable. It was only once I started to get used to my depression, I realized a way to resolve some of the awkwardness. I decided to inform certain people who knew of my disorder beforehand that I was going through a depression and that it was very difficult for me to talk as I once had. Once I informed them of this, the people I opened up to were able to understand that I wasn't able to respond quickly and think of conversational topics easily. Usually, the conversations with such people ended with less trivial topics and more sharing of life struggles. I would do more listening when I was depressed, and it was totally fine. Even though there would be long pauses without any dialogue, both me and the person who I opened up to would still be comfortable, allowing the interaction to be not awkward at all. At times, I mustered up the courage to tell a group of people about my disorder and that I had a hard time communicating because of my disorder. Afterwards, I would receive empathy, and people seem to open up about their own issues they've been facing as well. In many cases, people will be supportive of you when you open up. So instead of secluding yourself during depression, explain what you're going through to close ones so you can be less awkward with them and gain their support. Is socializing in person maybe too much of a burden? I recommend texting. I remember when my cognition was too slow for me to hold a vocal conversation. I instead tried texting, and this enabled me to keep up with the speed of the conversation because texting gave me plenty of time to think of what to say in between. To help you better socialize with people you are comfortable with in person, I recommend reading short books and articles and preparing yourself to talk about your opinions on them. By doing so, you will be using your mind and will have more practice in communicating your thoughts. When you mindlessly spend your time without any room for critical thinking that is provided by activities like reading, your brain and thought processes will become more stale, making it harder to converse. Also, try to be the one asking questions and let the other person do the talking. I know when you're depressed, your speaking ability is limited. That is why you can tell yourself that you will try to become the best listener you can when depressed. Hope this helps.